Knicks basketball is back, baby. Tonight is the first preseason game for the New York Knicks. It's going to be the Knicks taking on the Celtics at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a great matchup. The Knicks just came off of a very good training camp. And if you're speaking or listening to journalists that are covering the Knicks around training camp, everybody has a very, very similar message in terms of the one player that Tom Thibodeau stated impressed him more than other players on the team this training camp. We're going to break down exactly who that player is, and we're also going to take a look at the newest Knick in Donte DiVincenzo, who reports are indicating is fitting in already seamlessly. We're going to look into this and so much more today. Let's get started. Jericho Sims impresses at camp. That's right, guys. The man who might be the backup power forward for Julius Randle, at least in spot minutes, Jericho Sims has impressed a lot of people, including Tom Thibodeau at camp. According to Steve Popper of Newsday, he reports that Tom Thibodeau stated the following about Jericho Sims and what he did in the camp in Charleston. Jericho Sims has really had a great camp. He's the one guy, obviously coming off of surgery. He had a great summer the way he worked. He's really done a good job for us. Tom Thibodeau with some very, very high praise for the green rookie. Well, not really rookie anymore. He's another year experienced, I guess, with the New York Knicks. And Jericho Sims. Now, this is very high praise coming from Tom Thibodeau. Normally, he doesn't really give praise to any one individual player unless he's really directly asked about the player. He wasn't really asked about Sims. He just threw his name out there. For me, that is very, very significant. Because for Tom Thibodeau to say that, that means in all likelihood, Jericho Sims did make a leap. And in my opinion, it's probably a positive leap if Tom Thibodeau's giving him this praise. Impressed him the most in training camp among all the other players that they had. Even more than Isaiah Hartenstein or Mitchell Robinson, other centers, other big men that he plays with. He's impressing you more than them? I'm not saying that Tom Thibodeau said that, but to say that he was one of the main standouts at camp is absolutely saying a lot. That to me means that potentially Jericho Sims could see an uptick in minutes for the New York Knicks headed into this season. Maybe he will actually play that backup power forward position for the New York Knicks and be the first option at that position before anybody else is switched there. And maybe the only time you see RJ Barrett or Josh Hart play spot minutes there is depending on matchup or if Jericho Sims is getting beat on his matchup during the game. I think that's the only way you might see a switch there. Given this report, I actually believe that. And not for nothing, I love to hear it for Jericho Sims. I'm happy to hear it for him. I like Jericho. I think he's an athletic freak. I think he can jump you out of the gym. I think in terms of his positioning and his back to the basket play and understanding what to do around the rim, I think all of those things could be better. And he was a little green at that last year. I think we all saw that. If he's gotten better in that respect this season, his game is absolutely going to take a leap and a jump because those were the things he needed to clean up last year. He couldn't get the chance to do it because he was learning on the fly, learning within the moment. But if he's come off of injury, trying to get better, trying to upgrade at the things that he needs work on, I absolutely think he could be a force for the New York Knicks team this season, especially if you pair the growth with the athleticism. Because if those two things go together well, he could be monstrous for this Knicks team. He could have a breakout season for this team if he's utilized and played right. That goes down to coaching, but it also goes down to him, his skill set, and what he's improved on. Because if he gives Tom Thibodeau a reason to stay on the floor, especially defensively, he's going to stay on the floor. And I think we've seen for seasons now that some players who may not get a lot of minutes, if they play tough-nosed defense, they'll carve out and earn minutes under Tom Thibodeau. Sometimes that's just how it works. And I can absolutely see Jericho Sims doing that, especially if he's taken another leap defensively and also offensively. Because we need another big that can do both, and Jericho Sims might be the answer there. Especially if he's impressed Tom Thibodeau enough to mention him without anybody asking about him and to say this to the NBA insider that we know in Steve Popper. It means a lot, and in my opinion, it is significant. I hope to see very good things from Jericho Sims. You impressed in camp? Now impress me during preseason, impress me during the regular season, and impress me every time you're on that court. Donte DiVincenzo is already making an impact for the New York Knicks. I love to hear things like this. I love to hear when new players, new Knicks, already have a winning mentality, already are doing things to help the team. And honestly, the vibes around training camp, at least with Donte, is that he's a great team player already, but also he's a good leader and he fits in seamlessly. According to Sports Illustrated, reports from camp in Charleston indicate that DiVincenzo is making the desired first impression on non-Nova personnel. According to Tom Thibodeau, you are getting a young veteran who has experiences. He's got deep playoff experience. He's a gym rat. He fits in perfectly with our team. Just plays to our strengths. Learn your teammates. He's fit in seamlessly thus far. When asked about his goal with the Knicks, Donte DiVincenzo stated the following: I'm not worried about averaging whatever and doing all this and getting accolades because I know if we're winning games, everybody is going to eat. The young guys, the old guys last longer in the league, the coaches, everybody eats when everybody is selfless. And the ultimate goal is to win games. So that's been my motto. I'm going on year 6 of my career. It's working so far. Donte DiVincenzo, every time I hear him speak, every time I see a couple of clips in terms of his training camp, what he's doing with the team, what he's working on, how he's playing, I've loved it. I know a lot has not been said about Donte DiVincenzo because everybody has been waiting for the New York Knicks to make that superstar trade, that superstar move. Everybody's looking at Philadelphia, looking at Joel Embiid. So a lot of the Donte DiVincenzo thing hasn't really been talked about a lot. But honestly, if you're asking me, I like the Donte signing. I know he's another guard, but he's a guard that does something that we needed last season that now we have another person that can do. Shoot, shot create, pass, and shoot the three very well. Also, according to Tom Thibodeau, he fits with the team seamlessly. So if you thought DiVincenzo was going to come here and he was going to ride the bench, 4 years, $50 million, he didn't come here to ride the bench. He's also a former NBA champion. He didn't come here to ride the bench. He came here to play, and he came here to play significant minutes. And Tom Thibodeau stating that he is a perfect fit already with this team, praising his mindset, praising his leadership, praising what he's doing with this team. It all points to Donte DiVincenzo playing a significant role for this New York Knicks team, carving out a lot of playing time for himself. And I argue, depending on how he's playing, his defense, and also how he's shooting, he might end up in some closing lineups with Jalen Brunson, with Josh Hart, with Julius Randle, with Mitchell Robinson. I can see that happening, especially if he impresses Tom Thibodeau and fits with the team so perfectly now, and they haven't even played a game yet. Can you imagine what that's going to look like? The first preseason game with the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics is tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we may not see the full roster when we watch them play, but we're going to see enough of the roster to see who's getting consistent minutes, who's playing a lot, who's closing, what Tom Thibodeau feels is right for this New York Knicks team based on the roster that they have currently. And so many other questions are going to be answered, especially who's taking leaps with their game, who's more confident, who looks more comfortable, and so many other things. I can't wait to see what the New York Knicks do tonight against the Boston Celtics, because a lot of the questions that we have right now are absolutely going to be answered. Jericho Sims, is he really impressive? We're going to get that question answered. Donte DiVincenzo, how seamlessly has he fit this New York Knicks team? We're going to find that out too. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about tonight's game against the Boston Celtics? Are the Knicks beating Boston tonight in this preseason game? And what do you expect to see from the Knicks tonight? What rotations do you expect to see? Who's closing the game for the Knicks tonight? Let me know in the comments, because honestly, guys, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this video. If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans. Peace.